and sit down.
What is going on, Dads, and welcome to episode 42 of the Dads After Dark Show, recorded on Sunday, April 18th, 2021. We're your hosts, of course, Drew and John, and thank you for joining us tonight for some Nintendo. And John, happy anniversary to you and your lovely wife. I should be thanking her for letting you be here tonight to do what we do. I wouldn't miss it for the world, right? And apparently you wouldn't either.
I thank you. I didn't remind her that I was recording the show tonight, so I'm just kind of in here, and she might not even know. But really,
smart.
She was going to sit in bed and play some Story of Seasons, maybe some Animal Crossing, and so whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. But what else have you been up to? What's been going on lately?
Not that much. I've had a great couple weeks of gaming. I can't wait to talk about it in a little bit. And we finally got an Indie Direct, which we're also going to be talking about. But otherwise the last couple weeks have been just normal, mostly stay at home. I'm kind of headed towards get my second shot in about 11 days. Nice. And then we're figuring like mid-May we're gonna go kind of do some stuff we haven't done in a long time, maybe hit up a restaurant. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. And the weather is getting better over here, but we've had snow and rain for the last few days too, so
miserable.
Yeah, but it's like kind of the end of winter. Kind of enjoy it. Yeah, and then the warm weather will be here, and we'll wish that there was a little bit of snow again.
How about you? We don't ever have to wish that. I'm actually eligible starting tomorrow for my first shot, so I got to make an appointment starting tomorrow. I'm available to make one.
Oh, nice.
So we got that going. But John, there's a bunch of other little life stories I need to get off my chest, right? So this is my avenue to get them off. The first one is we have a Pokemon problem in my family.
Does that exist? A Pokemon problem?
Pokemon problem. My kids have become obsessed. My daughter pretends she's Pikachu, and she'll walk around the house for 30 minutes, and she won't say one word to you besides Pikachu. And now she wants a Pokemon birthday party. And it's taken over the household here.
All right. Well, lucky for you, there's lots of Pokemon stuff at party centers.
That's true. And we have Pokemon Snap coming up, and then we also have Sword and Shield when I ever really get that's there for us to play when needed. But that's it. I don't want to lead that on it. I got two other stories. The first one I'm going to say, fuck birds, okay? Because here's what's been going on. I've been living in this current house now for I think 3 years in May. In the last two seasons of the spring, I have these birds that decide they want to come and build nests under my deck, which is like a walkout basement. So it's it's above your head when you're coming out, and they build their nest, they lay their eggs, the birds hatch, they tweet, they make noises. The problem is that the mom is coming back and forth. She goes and sits on my fence. She sits on my deck, and she shits everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So I get the bird shit all along my fence, all along my deck, and I'm like, what the F? But and a little bit of part of it, I feel bad. She's trying to start a family. Well, John, this year I said, fuck that. I have a pool now. I have a nice patio that we built. I was like, I'm not having bird shit all over my pool and everywhere, right? So I took all the nests down. So this morning, I'm like, I see the birds trying to hang out on my playground and stuff. I'm like, what's going on over there? So I go back under my deck, and God damn it, John, there's a new nest. They built another nest. So I look, there's no eggs. So do I feel bad? Maybe. I took the nest down again. Oh. So now this poor pregnant bird is flying around my yard with nowhere to lay its eggs. And
God.
I don't know. I mean, it's Earth Week. Maybe I should, but can't have bird shit all over my yard. I mean, what do you think about it?
I've learned from your taste in games that you are an unfeeling human. And if the birds have a podcast, they're probably like, number 10, fuck humans. I built a nest. And the dipshit took it down. So I built another fucking nest.
And he took that one down.
We had a big problem with pigeons. They would fly into where my front door is. It's a little bit enclosed, not too much, but there's a little awning or whatever they call it. and they would fly up kind of where our light is and above the door, and they would poop. And after a while, there was so much poop, and the frame of our door is darker, and you could just see these white lines coming down. And we just never really thought much of it because we never really go through our door or see our door. We're like, God, imagine just being a visitor to a house and seeing all this pigeon shit above the door. So I had to like go in and clean it, and then I got those pigeon spike things and put those up. I don't know if you've seen those, but if you go to Home Depot, they sell these like plastic spikes, and they're there. I mean, they're not going to hurt the bird, but they deter the bird from like landing.
They hurt the bird.
It depends on the area that they're in, but basically it deprives them of a resting spot. Sometimes you have to kind of like glue them on or whatever. So it's, it depends on how sensitive you are, how out of the way. And even the spikes themselves can be kind of ugly, and you might not want to see them. But it's worked really well for our front door.
Wow, maybe I need to put some of those where they keep building the nest.
Yes, yeah. So look at that.
I'll think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right, so that's my bird story. Fuck birds. Now, the last story I have for you is called The Great Wedding Debate. And so here's my scenario here, right? As many of you know, I am a supervisor at my place of work.
I'm a supervisor of many people.
Well, here's the problem. There's this kid that works for me, same age as me. He started working for me a couple of years ago. I got to know him. He actually golfs in my golf league with me. But besides that, I don't like hang out with him outside of work. I don't really text him, maybe if it's about golf. But that's it. It's very kind of, work oriented. And then, I talk to him in work and stuff, and then at golf. But that's it. So yesterday, or Friday rather.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah, I got an invitation to his wedding, which wow, like blown away, like not expecting that at all. And now he's been telling me about his wedding, right, for a year because it was supposed to be, and then COVID hit. And I'm his boss, so he has like on my vacation calendar that he has days off. He has his honeymoon planned. So great. So like well aware of it. Now here's the weird part. The wedding is May 22nd, like 5 weeks from today.
Wow. Okay.
And that's like, okay, I personally have known about this wedding for a year. Like, how come I never got a save the date or anything?
Yeah.
Like, is this a pity invite? Did something change? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could have been a situation where he feels like he doesn't have enough people coming to his wedding, and he's padding out with, the fringe people, the people he kind of knows, or maybe he felt like he wanted to invite you because maybe he thought you'd be offended. You talk about Tiger Woods, and it might be awkward.
So here's my other. Let me lay down the other scenarios here. One, it's at its in-laws' house, right?
Oh God.
So it's at a house. It's like parking on the street. We recommend carpooling because there's nowhere to park. So that's one problem. Two, it's a buffet. And what I'm saying why it's a buffet is because it's in the middle of a pandemic still, John. I don't have my fucking vaccine, okay? I don't really feel comfortable going to a wedding with 100 people that I don't know, shaking hands, like
in a house.
At a house, like, is there bathrooms? Do we go inside to use the bathrooms? Are there porta potties that they brought in? Am I going to a buffet where other people are touched? I don't know.
There's no way there's 100 people though. It's probably a small.
And I don't know one person that's going.
Oh, it's the worst. Going to a wedding where you don't know anybody else is for me especially, just the worst.
I know. So
if it's a friend, whether you have a big group of friends, it's great. It's a great time.
So here's the thing. Even if I go, I'm his boss at the end of the day. Like, I'm not getting blacked out drunk. I can't really be like dancing like a fool. I gotta try to keep it calm. I've decided over the weekend, it was a hard decision, but I'm probably not going to go.
Yeah.
Now I think it comes down to me saying, how do I bring this up to him? Do I blame COVID? Do I play the boss card?
Play the COVID card.
I think I'm playing the COVID card.
You are not vaccinated. Even when you get your first shot, you don't even know when you're getting your first shot.
Correct.
Right? You're going to schedule it tomorrow, you said? Earlier?
I'm going to try to schedule it tomorrow for in a week or so. Yep.
Right. But you don't know when. And even then, if you're getting a 2 shot, you're not vaccinated until the second shot, like 10 to 2 weeks after. So just say, it's just I'm not comfortable right now with the vaccine. If you were getting married in June, I would totally go, my friend.
And maybe if it was at like a weird to say, but like an actual place that is like sanitizing and cleaning and it has like staff that's doing that.
Yeah.
in someone's house, it's just like, is it really the proper protocol? And they're probably doing it there because they can have 100 people and get away with it, right? You can't do that at an event.
Oh, totally. Do you know that he's going to have 100 people, though? Or are you just
He said it to me before.
That's a lot of people to come to your house.
I agree.
What kind of house does he have?
It's not even his. It's like a raised ranch in-laws.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's weird. No, I would literally play the COVID card. I mean,
yeah.
Totally.
I don't want to bring the.
You shouldn't be there anyway.
The boss card, I think, is lame because I would go as a boss. I don't think that's really the problem, and just keep it, in the down low. But
you're a fun boss.
I am a fun boss, but the COVID thing, All right, that's all. That's my life stories. I wanted to share those 3 stories with you guys, and that's my life lately. That doesn't even get into my what's happening in my real life, but those are some of the fun ones that's been going on lately.
Yeah. You know what, Drew? Fuck life. Let's just talk about games. Drew, we've had a great couple weeks playing games, and one in particular that you and I recommended this game to you multiple times.
You have.
You broke my heart with Sayonara, but I braved it. Slay the Spire, you finally started playing, and just when you started playing it, I decided, because I've been wanting to get back to it, deleted my save data in solidarity with you, and started the game all over again. It's one of my favorites of all time. First of all, how great was my recommendation, Drew?
Okay, it's all about you. I see how you did that. No, it was. And all these times you've recommended this game, I was never like, oh, that's not for me. Like I said with Sayonara, this was just more, it looks great, John. It's just when I get time, I'll play it. And now was a perfect time. It was a great recommendation. It was. It's funny, really quick. I was playing this evening. My wife's like, I don't understand this game. I was playing on the TV.
Oh, God.
And I said, no, you got to build a deck and you fight guys and you go to the next track. She goes, oh, like Dicey Dungeons? And I said, yeah. I said, exactly. A little more sophisticated. But yeah, you're onto it. So I was proud of my wife for that one.
This is when I knew that you would like it because of Dicey Dungeons. And I always recommend it because it's so much. I don't know what your opinion is, but it's so much better than Dicey Dungeons because I found that Dicey Dungeons, they try to get you to like decide who you fought, what you did. But in the end, you really kind of had to fight everybody so you can get your max health filled out. Especially when you leveled up, it refilled your health. So you always wanted to like do your final level up and then go to the boss. You're full of health and this game, you can pick your route. You can fight more enemies. You can go any which way. And the cards are such a variety every time. So it really feels more random and fresh each time. And
I think to compare the two really quick, the what I liked about Dicey Dungeon was I think there was a huge variety, whether it was the play styles. I also liked the shortness of a game. My biggest problems I find so far with Slay the Spire, and then I'll talk about all the gloriousness of it. But the two issues are, like, a run could be almost 2 hours sometimes, or an hour and a half. If you go all the way to the end, it can get very long. There are 4 characters, which all have similar, all different, unique play styles. But there are times where it's like not repetitive because you can have different builds, which I liked, right?
Yeah.
You can go with a high block build. You can go with a high offense attack build. You can do a little bit of combo of both. You can go with, like, if your opponent attacks you, they do damage, right? There's a lot of different ways, and then each character plays different. I was a really fan of the second character, the green guy. I forget his name, but he was very big into poison, right? So I loved stacking poison, and then just block, and then just literally block every turn, and you just watch the poison kick in. So that part is, I think, a lot better. I liked that, and there's tons of different ways to do that. But you said something to me today in Discord where there's a lot of randomness, right? Where you could be having an amazing run, and then you just hit that one enemy, right? Let's say I have a really good build going. I'm focusing on this, and then you hit that one enemy that's like the counter to your build, right? And then you should go into there with max health, and it just doesn't matter because it's like you'd have the shit end of the stick somehow.
Yeah. That's usually what gets me. You like some enemy who will hit you for like 45 damage, and you just your current hand doesn't have it. I'll explain the game real quick for anybody who doesn't know. Yeah. So you start. There's 4 different characters. They have their different capabilities. The first character is Ironclad. You get 80 health. You get 80 health. And the Ironclad special ability is that every time he gets into a new battle, he gains 6 health. So you can actually lose 6 health in a battle, and then you'll be filled. But you start off you start off with this standard set of cards. It's like there's like 5 attacks and 5 blocks. Basically, that's it. But every time you do a battle and win, you get your pick of 3 different cards, and you'll often get some potions, you'll get some gold, stuff like that. You can fight enemies that are called elites, and you'll get a relic. A relic is like a perma buff, something that you always have. And so and you'll get a card as well. So the cards are the cards you're going to play on your turn. The relics can help you. Like there's relics that will give you like extra energy on each turn, or relics that will give you extra block and things like that. There's really cool ones. It seems like there's an unlimited amount. There's always some new cool one that you get. And then, what you're doing is you're going up these spires, and there's all these paths you can take. So you get to choose which path. And so maybe you want to fight more enemies, or maybe you want to land on these question mark squares, which can be anything. And you might get a buff out of it, or you might have to fight somebody or anything. You get cursed, that sort of thing. Those are always very interesting. And then there are shops you can go to. You have to go along the spire. You can't go to the shop anytime you want. And then finally, as you're going up, you can find chests and rest areas. And it's really fun. Every run, like you said, is different. And there's so many strategies to it. I've always loved this game. I beat the spire. I got through a run with each of the 3 characters, but I could never do the ascension levels. So basically when you beat a run, it unlocks ascension levels. So you start off at ascension level 1, and it's a little bit harder. I think they said there's more elites that you fight along the way. And then if you beat Ascension Level 1, you can do Ascension Level 2, and it goes up to 20. I think it used to go up to 10, and then they upped the cap, so there's more. It gets harder and harder and harder. I never was able to do the Ascension levels until now, and I actually got through the first 2 Ascension levels, but I almost quit on the second, and you're on the 3rd one.
No, John, you're on the 4th
one. That's right. So you passed 3. I'm up to 3.
Well, it's funny because when you said this game, you're like, I'm just warning you, Drew, it's really hard. And then you get a little mad because about 2 hours later, I sent you a screenshot of me rolling credits. And I was like, I don't get this game, John. It's too easy. And you're like,
I was trying to think, is there an easy mode or something? Because this is a game you got to do several runs just to really understand what's happening. And you beat it. And even admitted, you're like, I don't even know if I understand this game yet. Yeah. So I wish I could see. I wonder if your seed is on that screenshot you sent, because I would love to play that seed, so I can play the same game you did and see if I could beat that one. I need to look and see. At the end of the game, it'll show you the seed, and then you can play that specific randomization. And so you can kind of hear it. It's actually pretty fun if you see someone do an ascension level of like 10, and you're like, well, is it they got lucky, or let me try that one. Now you can make totally different decisions. It doesn't matter. But
okay.
Yeah.
There's if you go to statistics, you can I think you can view all of that stuff.
I think you can.
Which ones you beat and what it was. So
yeah,
that should be something worth looking at.
It's such a great game. Like some people, I think you said you were turned off by the graphical style.
No,
it is. I mean, the graphics are not like amazing graphics or anything, but like once you're playing it, it's just, what makes it so great is all the enemies have these very specific characteristics. And so some enemies that you found really hard, I feel like this time around I'm really understanding the enemies better, because I understand the game already. But like, there's like some enemies, like there's one enemy I was telling you about where they start out on their first turn and they don't attack you. And then the next turn they attack you for a small amount. And then they keep attacking for bigger and bigger amounts. So the way to beat that enemy is just beat them early. You don't have to block early or anything like that. You just beat them early. There's other characters that will attack every other turn. So you can just try to block and defend when they attack and then lay waste to them.
Yep.
Everyone's got their own little pattern, and the elites too. It's just so much fun. And really the goal of this game, to get really good at this game, you have to understand all of the enemies and how you approach each one.
Who
so
would you say is your least favorite person to fight? Boss or regular enemy?
Generally, the elites that just keep hitting you for big damage. You know how like sometimes they attack you and it'll say 7 times 5, right?
Yeah.
So that means they're going to attack you for 7 damage 5 times. If you can weaken them, you can lower that 7 times 5 to like 5 times 5, which is a difference of 10.
Yeah.
But when you fight somebody who's going to attack you for just straight out 35 and then you weaken them, they're going to attack you for 33. Yeah. So it's just so hard to, like, if you don't have a lot of block, they can just lay waste to you.
It's tough. With only 80 health total and maybe not being able to, up your health or re-energize for like 5 or 6 battles, it's tough. It's a lot of strategy involved.
Yeah, very rarely can you get cards that help your health out.
Agreed. And I hate the stupid black gooey guys that are linked to each other.
Yes.
So there's 3 guys, about 40 health each.
They're always attacking.
And if you kill one, it comes back to life in 2 turns.
2 turns.
So you have to kill all 3 of them at the same time. So you have to get their health down to like 5 each, and then just try to take them all out. It's tough.
I used to go after them by like trying to level them down, level them all down at the same time. Yeah. But now I really do take advantage of the 2-turn thing. And sometimes even if you kill them and they're going to come back, at least you can then block the other 2. And then when they come back at like half health. Mm-hmm. So it does make it a little manageable. But yeah, you have to crush them. I like the this time around, I've been handling better the guy. He's usually like the first boss. The guy, he'll turn into like a ball of thorns.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you attack him, he'll hit you back. And he's a classic example of you really have to learn the enemies. I think he usually has like 150 health or 250. And once you knock him down 40 health, he turns into a ball.
Yep.
And when he turns into the ball, he doesn't have the thorns. Then the next couple turns, he has the thorns. And sometimes they just relentlessly hit him when he has the thorns. But you really have to just stand back. Because every time you hit him, he'll hit you for 3. One thing you can do is you can build up your block first and then hit him, and then your block will absorb it in that same turn. But really, the best way to go about it is in that first turn, don't knock him down to that you knock him down 40 health. Wait, and then on the second turn, hit him right away and knock him into the ball. Yeah. And it just kind of changes his things. Then you back off, you just block because he's not a threat. It's really got to balance it out, and it depends on your build. There's so much variety to this game.
It's awesome. I got a really cool relic today that I never saw where any unused energy carries over to your next turn.
Yes.
And it is an entire different strategy. Because it's like at the end, if you have 1 energy left, you just hit block, even though you might not need the block card.
Exactly.
So now you just save it. And there was like up to I was having starting a turn with 9 energy, and it was like awesome. And then I ran into those 2 big bosses back to back, and it's just
they can run it. I think I had my best run of all time today, and it was like a culmination of the strategy I've been using lately with Ironclad, which is get your power up, and then there's cards that there's like a card that will up your power by 2 times your strength. Mm-hmm. And when you up your strength, it ups, like it makes your attack for 5 become an attack for 7. But if you keep getting those cards, and they do come about, you can get like 2 or 3 in your hand, then there is a card that will double your health. So if you can get it up, you can double your health. So that's really good by itself. But there is a card called Demon Form. It takes 3 energy. So early in the game, it takes up your whole turn. But on every successive turn, it will raise your strength up 2. And if you upgrade the card, which you should, 3. But it doesn't take it away. So it ups it 3, 3, 3 every turn. So what you can do as a strategy is use the Demon Form on round 1. Just take whatever attack you get or whatever. And then as you're gaining strength, you can really just start blocking as much as possible. and then wait till your strength gets to like 10, 15, or 20, and then just lay waste to somebody. And there's another card that will double your strength. So once you get up to 10, you can double it and go right to 20. It's so great on bosses. I started using it where I just get into block mode, and then I have like a couple of, there is a card, I forget what it's called. It takes 2 energy, but when you have strength 1, it affects it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have it at strength 5, it's like strength 15, and the card can just bam, like hit for 80 attack or whatever. And then the what's the other one? There's a card that will double your attack. So you use it, and then your next attack, it will do it twice. And you could just pound people. And I just had this great run, never had a problem. Got to the time ticker dude at the end. Just timed it perfectly. I was always ready for the 12th turn. I finally got past Ascension level 2. It's so much fun. How much are you going to keep playing?
I don't know. I'm at a point where I've probably done 10 runs on Ascension 4, and I just can't get by it. What I might try doing now, though, John, is going back to the Poison guy. I think I beat Ascension 1 with him, so I'm on Ascension 2 and just trying to see how far I can get with him. Just to change it up. I mean, it's kind of like a whole new game in a way.
Totally different game.
So I might try that.
Weird when you don't have the ability to heal between turns. It really makes you neurotic.
Yeah. That third character, the orb guy, he was cool, but way too complicated and planning ahead. I mean, I understood him, but I would never want to play like over and over and over with him. It's just, I think it hurts your brain. I just want to, bam, bam, bam type thing.
It's really fun. I like him. But yeah, I'm going to sit on the Ironclad. I almost quit, just like you, on Ascension 2. I could not do it until today. So now I can give myself 10 more tries on Ascension 3.
Quick question on the Ascension levels. Like right now, I think Ascension 4 is something like elite bosses are ridiculously hard. Whatever,
Right. Yeah.
Now, are the previous 3 Ascension buffs in there as well, or no?
They're all there.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm pretty sure, actually.
I feel like
maybe not. I think if they are, that's like ridiculous. I was thinking that they were because of the UI when you start would show the 1 and the 2 at the top.
Yep.
I'm not sure. We should look that up during the show.
All right, and also I feel like the levels are just getting longer compared to the beginning. Is that true, or is it just no?
Maybe the spires are longer? Maybe?
That's what I'm saying. I think they're a lot longer.
I actually find that I'm getting through the game way faster because I'm so familiar with all the enemies now. I have a strategy. I don't sit there and think about it. I'm pretty much like ba-boom, ba-boom. But
last question for you. When you speak to the whale in the beginning, and you get the option of +8 permanent health, or the first 3 enemies you encounter have 1 health.
I used to do the 1 health thing.
I know, but it's not good long term. It's like if you want to quickly get through it.
I remember getting a tip very early on the first time I was really playing this game, and they said try to find a path to an elite if you can with that one, so that you can get a relic for basically free. Then it's worth it if you can get a relic for free. But I always take I feel like the HP is so low. I always try to get XP. So
have you ever quickly just tried for a relic off the front, the free relic or something, and then if it doesn't work out instantly, you just end that run and redo it?
No, I've done that twice. I try not to. I feel like I'm cheating. Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah, my strategy really has been to go all out on the first area.
Yeah,
I will try to fight as many people as I can. I used to try to skip through, go to question marks.
Yeah,
but I try to fight as many fights as I can. I try to do elites, and if I die, I die. But I'd rather grind through it, and if I can survive the first area, I usually have some pretty good cards and some good relics to come from it. And if I die, whatever.
I do that too. I play very risky in the beginning, right? So meaning if I get to a rest camp and I have 45 health, I won't heal myself.
Exactly.
I'll upgrade a powerful card, fight the boss, and hope that I win. And if I don't, like you said, restart. You have to play risky in that first act.
It's the only strategy, and really that's the main strategy for most roguelikes is you need to be aggressive early on and power up, enter the gungeon, try to do the bonus dungeons and just try to get best weapons. I mean, that's really what you have to do. Yep. But yeah, I think let's move on. But Slay the Spire, it's $15 right now. It really is one of the greatest games in the world, and it has thousands of hours of playtime if you want. You can stop anytime, but it's really so good, and there's so much challenge, and like you said, every character is almost like a completely different game. There's completely different cards. It really is a great game. You really got to try it. I'll go first real quick. I have some really fun games to talk about. Start off with Narita Boy. I played this one for free on Game Pass on Xbox. I really like the aesthetic of it. It has a very cool 80s new age kind of appearance to it. I started playing it and I ended up having to make this map because there's no map in the game. And it's when you're playing a 3D game and you go into a room and you come out of it, you kind of have a sense in space where things are. Mm-hmm. This is a 2D game. So you go through a door and then you're in a whole different area, but you have no sense of space. So you can get really lost as to where to go. And the first area is kind of windy. I started making a map and my map was ridiculous. And I was just so tired of constantly getting lost. And they kind of ask you to do the same thing over again. Go get this key. Go get this. Go to this guy. And I eventually could not figure out what to do. Tore up my map, quit, tweeted, and told our listeners, don't play Narita Boy. It's bad. I get a reply tweet the next day, and somebody goes, oh, man, that wasn't even a 30-second review. And I was like, and I actually wrote to our group, and I said, whoever this is, I don't know who you are, but you made my morning. I thought that was hilarious. It turned out this is one of the lead developers of Narita Boy. Amazing. I had no idea, but good on you for going out there, not taking it personal. And he was just funny. And we went back and forth a few times. I said, you really need a map, dude. And I felt so bad. He was just very entertaining. And I loved his attitude that I just felt like I owed it to him to finish the game. So I did. I started the game all over again, played through. I did not do a map. And I enjoyed it. I actually got pretty addicted to it. I beat it in a couple days. And yeah, it's not a long game, but it was good. I gave it like a 6 out of 10, I think, on the 30-second review I did for it. It's not the greatest game I ever played. It definitely has some design flaws, but it was a fun experience.
Did you go back and tell him?
I did. He didn't respond, but yeah. But I had a good time. Maybe he blocked me. No, but I had a good time. I would say if you're playing it, it's just try to have a good sense of where you're going. It actually, I thought, was much more confusing in the first area than it was in the rest of the game. It actually got much easier to figure your way around later in the game. So had a good time with that. Another game I played, Telling Lies. I love playing games that other people aren't playing. I mean, I'm not Jessie level, but Her Story was a game, I think it's from 2016 or 2015. It is a very quirky game. I don't know if you probably haven't seen it. I don't know. But it was actually one of the consensus games of the year that year. And it was a game where you looked at video clips and you just searched this weird database for video clips. So if you search for a word like love, it will find all the clips where the word love is uttered. But they'll only show you the top 5. So you can't just say love and then get like 30 clips and just go through them. And the whole challenge of the game is to try to use search cues to find clips that will help you to piece together this story. And so the whole game is telling you a story through random video clips that you're searching in completely different orders. So Telling Lies is sort of the next game, and it's a lot of the same formula. You know, they purport it like it's a different kind of database, and you are a FBI agent, a former FBI agent, and you're trying to uncover like something that got covered up in the organization. And there's like a beginning to this game. There's like a video sequence of this. You're this female FBI agent, and you're like going upstairs to your apartment, and you sit down at your computer, and it's really cool because you can see your reflection on the screen, and you see your reflection on the screen the entire game, like just a very faint reflection on a computer, and you can play solitaire on the computer. And they don't even tell you what to do. You just sort of figure it out. You click on different icons on your computer. You find the database. And then you just start searching. The thing that was really interesting is that the first game, Her Story, there was a woman at a police station and she was being interviewed. And the whole game is just her. And they bring her in for questioning like 10 different times. So sometimes she's wearing different outfits, and you can use that as a visual cue to figure out, I'm looking for her when she said something at this time. Oh, there's her with the purple dress. This game, there's multiple characters. There's like 6 or 7 different characters. And these are like video calls. So you actually see somebody talking in a video call, But the cool part is you don't hear the other person they're talking to. So it's like if you listen to this podcast and I'm like I'm staring at you right now on Skype and you're just sitting there watching me. And that's kind of how the game goes. There could be minutes of time where the person's just listening to something and you're watching them on the screen. But the really cool part about it is, and I found that kind of weird at first because the clips were really long. But what's cool is that later on, you'll find the other side of that conversation and you'll go, oh, that's what she was saying. That's why he got all mad. Like, oh, I understand now. It also makes it cool to search for their words. So if a guy's talking to a woman, right? So there's like the main character, David, he's talking to this cam girl. And so she's all like, she's got her boobs out or whatever. I told you this is the actress from Westworld. And so he's talking to her and he'll say something like, what's your name or whatever? Oh, that's a nice name or something. And I was trying to figure out what is her name. And so I can do searches for the word name or, you know, like that sort of thing and try to find the clip of the cam girl to hear what she said. And then once I hear her name, then I can search for her name in the database and find other clips where we're talking about her now. So it really leads to some really cool sequences.
John,
it's fun.
I mean, you're blowing my like, this is a fucking video game? I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Like my mind is blown. Like, the games you play blow my mind. You play these amazing games, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, you know, I play this story-based game, and it's just trying to watch these videos and tell people what to do.
Sometimes you just need something new and unique to play. A lot of people had heard of her story. I have never heard anyone talk about telling lies. But I'm telling you, man, if you want something different, so cool. I bought it on sale a while back. I knew I was going to play it months ago, and I finally got to it. I'm telling you, it's just a unique thing, and I bet you like spouses would love this. If you have like a partner, a wife especially, who doesn't play games, this game is just like you just want to keep playing to learn more information about the story. So there is an ending as well. As you find all of these really critical parts of the story, they have these little cinematic sequences, and then there's eventually an end to the story, and there's multiple endings. It's really cool. Give it a try. And
I will not give that a try.
So many games. I'll go through this real quick. I started Super Blood Hockey yesterday. I started my franchise mode today. This looks a lot like ice hockey, so you might like it. It's a really nice graphical version of ice hockey. Pretty much the same thing. Fat guy, medium guy, skinny guy, but they have like skills in between. It's not just like three people. It's just, but generally the bigger guys are slower, that sort of thing. The goalie is all automatic. You can't control the goalie. And the goalie can never hold the puck. It was an interesting design decision. So if you shoot the puck on the goalie, it'll always bounce off them. They never catch it. It's a very fast-paced game. It does take getting used to. The skating is very slippery. And if I've played a lot of ice hockey, and my brain keeps wanting to play that, but it's very slippery. Probably not accurate to real hockey, but it makes it interesting. And then in franchise mode, you hire prisoners for your hockey team, and then you have them train in the exercise room, and you give them drugs if you need to like change their weight. So if you want a fat guy to lose weight, you give him drugs. If you want a player to gain weight, you can up their meal program, and they'll eat more and bulk up.
Now, this is not online, though, unfortunately.
It's not online, but the franchise mode is fun. You go through seasons. They're not very long, which is great, because I like doing full seasons of games, but they tend to be like a long time, and I can't last. It's basically like a month is a season. And I chose my team to be North Korea because I just thought that was the most ironic team to have. And I'm having fun with it. The periods are pretty short. I mean, the periods are like 2 minutes. Okay. So you can get through game. I played like 5 games today to start my franchise off. I thought I was going to play 1 and then just wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, I don't know if you would love it, but it's hockey and it's like ice hockey. They have some challenge modes where if you can beat them, you unlock things in the game, like skills and abilities and whatever. So like you play a game where you're 4 against 8. And it's so fun. You're just like trying to thread like the puck through guys. That's and fun. Try to score. It was a fun time. So
how much? Do we know how much this game is right now?
I don't know.
I feel like I feel like I'd pay like $5 or $10, but I feel like it's a lot more than that.
I got it on a good sale. I had it on my wish list for a long time, and I got it like 4 or so months ago. I hadn't played it yet. I can't tell the price because I'm already on it
right now.
But yeah, throw it on your wish list because I think I got it for like $4 or something.
Can we just all say right now how fucking stupid that is by Nintendo? That you can't see how much the game costs if you own it.
You got to log out.
It's $15.
15. Put it. I think I got it for like $5. So if you want to wait for a sale, yeah.
Oh, I'm not signed in on my computer. Fuck
no. Last game I'll talk about. I don't want to get too deep into it because I want to get into more next time. Yep. But I've been playing Outriders again.
Okay.
I think I mentioned. I can't remember if I mentioned. I really loved this game. It's free on Game Pass. We talked about this
because you sold to me. It's not fucking free, all right?
It's free.
You sold me on this last episode. So.
Yeah. I started playing it because it was free, and it was the new. It's a next gen game essentially. I was really enjoying it. It's kind of like Diablo, but like a 3D shooter. But I stopped playing it because if you just put the system to sleep, it will boot you back to the lobby, and you'll have to start your
it's an online game. That's fair.
So I get it, but I started trying to look for other games that were like this because I really liked it, and then none of them really I was interested in. I was like, I really like this game. I can't explain it, and I'm not a shooter guy. But
it's like me and Paladins. It's just something about it. I don't like the game, but I have 130 hours into it. I can't help it.
It's very accessible. It's just you play through an area, you kill some enemies. The harder the enemy, the better the loot. You get a better weapon. Then you're like, oh, cool, I got a cooler weapon. Now I'm really loving this weapon. There's tons of weapons in this game, and there's all different armors you can get. And then every time you get stronger, you just want to be like, I want to use this weapon. This weapon is freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. I've started to get these colorized weapons. So I did a quest, and I was able to choose a blue weapon, and I was like, oh, that's so cool looking. And then eventually, that weapon is now just half as powerful as my most powerful weapons. I don't use it, but now I got purple weapons. Just like, oh, this is so cool. The cutscenes are so dumb. The story is whatever. The overarching story that you're on an alien planet because you had to flee Earth is fine, but all these little sub storylines are just. It's like The Witcher. Oh, I need your help. I got to find my friend. And then you go do it. And you're fighting a lot of the same enemies over and over again. But there's something about it. There's a comfort food to it. And then you can open up your game online, and then people will just randomly join you. So I haven't played with any friends. I don't know anybody playing this game. But I just open my lobby up, and then people who want to do the same levels will just join up with you. And so somebody will jump in and we'll go through, and I don't know who the person is, and I'm all like, hey man, yeah, all right. So
you do voice chat or no?
No, I don't do voice chat or anything like that. But yeah, I'll probably talk a little bit more about it next time because I might actually get to the ending of it. About halfway through now, but really loving this game. If you have Xbox Game Pass, I mean, it's free to try. How about that? Is it free to try? Free to try. Give it a try. You might like it. And I'm really liking it. And I'm not a shooter person. I never play shooters. I'm telling you, it's just so fun to play. So really loving that. Huh. And that's what I got. How about you, Drew?
Yes, I'll keep it brief, as most of it was been Slay the Spire lately. But also, of course, I got my Pokemon Let's Go. Still going through that. We got about 10 Pokemon left to catch. But I have to give a huge shout out to Frosticles from our Discord chat. We met up the other day, and he helped me out big time. He sent me about 12 or so Pokemon. A lot of the ones that were from Eevee that I could not get, and now I'm at the point where I need to do a lot of leveling up, which, my kids don't like that. They want to go catch new Pokemon. They don't understand that you have to just sit there and do boring leveling up and catching and stuff to level up the other ones. So we're in the middle of doing that. We caught our third shiny. So now we have a shiny Tentacruel, a Chenzi, which of course my kids will only call cheesy. Anytime I call it anything else, I'm wrong. They're right. So you just go with it.
Probably.
And then the third one, it was funny. I wasn't even in the same living room as them. I was in the kitchen, and my daughter goes, "Oh, a shiny," and I'm just like, "Okay, sure." Like, 6-year-old, maybe she saw that. She goes, "No, a shiny! I caught it! And it was a Pidgey, but yeah, it was a shiny Pidgey.
If you're collecting shinies, you gotta get a Pidgey at some point.
You got to do it. I hear you. So Pokemon Let's Go, wrapping that up. Once we get all of those, I only play that with them, as I always say, so that's fun. Also, since we've chatted, Mana Spark, which I talked kind of highly of last episode, which was this roguelite, really, really fun game. I just looked today. I put over 20 hours into this sucker for $2.
Wow.
But I bought the DLC, and I ended up playing through that. The DLC was great. What it did was, since it is a roguelike game, it added a bunch of newer enemies into the game, as well as some new upgrades that you could go buy. So I liked it in a way. In the original game, it was 3 different worlds that you play through. The DLC adds a 4th world. So you have to beat the entire game again to unlock that 4th world to then go fight.
Wait, so they give you more content, but it's at the end. It's at the end of it, so you have to play. You have to do a full successful run to play, and only then you get to play.
Oh yeah, so even if you buy the DLC, you might not get to it every time you play. It was different.
Wow.
It does introduce. Well, it does a few things, John. Though it makes it a little bit easier because it introduces a new merchant, where you can buy a permanent upgrade for each character. And they're pretty big permanent upgrades. Like the one that has the bow and arrow, for example, it was if you hold the bow and arrow, it's like double damage.
Okay.
Rather than just push it. So they're pretty significant upgrades by doing that. They cost a lot of runes, but if you've been playing the game a lot, you have plenty of runes left over. They also comes with a 4th DLC character, which is a female that has a boomerang, and it has.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Oh, most yes. A boomerang and a little pet that follows you around, and it introduced a bunch of new skills within the game as well that kind of helped. Kind of like we talked about relics, right? In Spire, they have a lot of relics in this game, so there was a lot of new relics. For example, you can now have like a spider or a bat or something follow you as a pet, no matter which character you were. So it was cool. It was very interesting to play it. It was again, the DLC was only a few dollars. So I think you get the DLC and the game for like $5 if it's on sale. It's so worth it. Absolute blast. Mana Spark. Highly recommend it.
Very cool. Very cool. You talked a lot about this in the chats and everything. I felt your energy, man. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm still hoping for you to play through it one day. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's a fun game.
Sweet. Is that all? That's all we got now?
That's it. That's all I got to talk about. Yep.
All right. Well, what do you say we hit our top 5?
Do it.
Number 5.
All right, folks. We have a question here from Mecha Dragon 101. He asks, what are some of your dad's favorite and least favorite indie games? What makes a game indie? That's another great question there. And it says, and also, what system do you prefer to play your indie games on? John, a lot of questions, a lot of information in this short question. What do you think? What do you got? Indies in general.
I started all off as I don't know when it started. As of the Wii U, I didn't play indie games, but my favorite games are all indie games now. I just have way more fun playing them. They're shorter, they're cheaper, they usually have unique ideas. So it's really hard to pick a favorite indie game because there's just it's not a fringe thing I play. But to try to answer this, my favorite game of all time is an indie game. And that's Into the Breach. But far and away, my favorite game of all time. It is so infinitely playable. It's a roguelike. It's like a Fire Emblem roguelike randomized game. So every time you play, you know, there's different setups. You can play with different robots. I won't get into the game, but It's so good. And there's this massive number of little achievements that you can do. And I have gone through so many waves of playing this game on my Switch. I have a couple more achievements to do. And so I'm saving that for a time where I can really just kind of jump in. But Into the Breach, absolutely dead on, great game design. It is amazing. It's amazing. I can't say enough about it. Slay the Spire we talked about earlier in the show.
It feels like it.
Sorry, it feels like it. And Dicey Dungeons. I definitely like Slay the Spire a lot better. But that was also a good game we really enjoyed. Rogue Legacy was a game a few episodes back. You and I had a blast playing this game for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
It's so good. And the thing that makes these games great, and it may be a crutch that indie games need, that they need that replayability, is that it's randomized. And so they make it so that you can keep playing these games and doing different things. And that helps make up for the fact that there's not a ton of content. So that's amazing. And then Celeste, I think, is one of the most well-known indie games. That game is not only great gameplay, not only great graphics, not only an amazing soundtrack, an amazing story. So much to do in that game if you want to keep going and do the B-sides and the C-sides. And then there's the DLC, which I still haven't gotten through because it's way too hard for me. That's an amazing game, especially if you like games like Super Meat Boy. That game is just the pinnacle. The Ori games, apparently the company that makes Ori is considered an indie. I don't really buy into it. And the Ori games have such great production values, but the Ori games are probably in my top 15 of all time, both of them. Untitled Goose Game is a great indie game. And really, to answer the second part of the question, I don't know what makes an indie company. In the old days, it used to be like Axiom Verge. It's just a guy. He did everything. It took him 7 years. Undertale, it's just one guy, Those are real indie games. But nowadays, small studios are indies. And I don't know if it's just a small studio trying to make themselves sound like the little guy. I don't think Ori and the Blind Forest is an indie game. It's a company. I mean, it's basically funded by Microsoft. So, come on. Is that really indie? I don't know. Games like Nidhogg. I love Nidhogg. There's so many good games. Indie games really are my favorite. And then to answer the last question, I started playing indie games really on the Switch. I had a couple of indie games I wanted to play. I got an Xbox 360 so I could play them. Super Meat Boy being one of them. But my Switch is my indie machine for a couple reasons. One, I like playing portably. But two, usually indie games don't tax the system. So your Switch is not being as powerful as my Xbox doesn't matter when I'm playing an indie game. I like to play indie games more on my Switch. If I try to play a game that requires more power, what was that? What was that game we played from Ubisoft, the Breath of the Wild clone? I'm forgetting the name of right now.
Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix Rising.
Yes.
That's a game that taxes the Switch, and when you play it on the Switch, you are reminded you're playing a Switch. Whereas when I play, they have Slay the Spire on Game Pass right now, so you could play it for free if you have Game Pass.
No, we can't play for free.
For another episode, Drew. But I don't want to play Slay the Spire on my Xbox. I don't want to sit there in front of my TV playing this card game. I mean, granted that having the bigger screen size would be nice, but I want to play Outriders on my Xbox. I want to play Phoenix Rising like I did on my Xbox. Yeah. And on my Switch, I'm going to play Super Blood Hockey, and I'm gonna play Slay the Spire. So the Switch is definitely an indie machine.
I agree. The Switch. It's funny. Before the Switch, I don't want to say I don't know what an indie game was, but I don't think I played really. It was always playing these big, massive games one after another, and I think the Switch really brought open the doors for a lot of these small companies, right? But as far as picking some, I mean, that's hard to say, right? Most recently you look at games like Mana Spark, which you get for $2. I mean, a $2 game, that's like a that's cheaper than a cell phone game. And now I can play it on a Switch for 20 hours and entertain myself. Like that's the stuff that's incredible. Dicey Dungeons was like a hidden gem that we found, and we spent 40 something hours playing this nonsense of a game which we all loved. We got Jesse to love it. And there was a few other people in our chat that we got to play. Maybe Hambone Johnny. I forget who it was. But that's the beauty of an indie game, that every once in a while you find this hidden gem. And I think what makes it so much more fun is when it is you find these games that maybe people aren't talking about, right? And then you can share it with people, through our avenue of a podcast or whether it's on the internet or through a Discord chat or whatever it might be. But I think that's what makes indie gaming so amazing, right? Are those small moments when you come across this hidden gem and you spent a few dollars on it. How many times have we've all spent $60 on this big AAA game and just kind of hated it, right? Or never even finished it. We gave it 5 hours and we're like, whatever. And I hate to say, because I don't really look at games as saying how much money did I make investing wise, but
yes, you do. This is exactly what you do, Drew. You have a formula, which is hours per dollar.
Sure, but you look at these indie games and you make up a lot of that formula or that time or that money back on these big AAA games that sometimes you just don't hit the mark that you're looking for. So
even games that you like I played Phoenix Rising, and
yes.
Generally I enjoyed the game. I didn't feel like it had much of a soul, and then when I hit the credits I didn't really want to play it much again.
Agreed.
But I still got my time in. But there's other games where you play 15, 20 hours, you get to the end and you're like, oh, okay. All right, it's getting repetitive. Monster Hunter has been like that. I enjoyed my time with it, but it's almost like infinite length. So you have to kind of come with an ending, and it's like, okay, I'm level 6, I'm good.
I think that's a great topic, John, for another episode with Sadie, where these infinite type games, right? When do you stop, right? Even Fortnite, where we have people that have thousands of hours, Animal Crossing, there's got to be a point where you start to sizzle out. And what is that point? What brings you to that drive? Is it another game? Is it just so much on you get worn out? But I think it's a great topic or a great question.
Yeah, that is, because the longer you get into it, the longer you feel like you can't leave it because you have this alter identity. You can't.
And I agreed. And I think MMOs are the world famous for that, right? An MMO is a perfect example of anything that you've invested thousands of hours in, and you're so deep into it. It's like, well, what do I do? I can't just leave.
How do you just stop one day?
We kind of just sidetracked it here, but Metro Dragon, that's a great question. Indies is changing the way we look forward, and I think Nintendo does such an amazing job at pushing them on you. Perfect example, the little indie world that we got recently. Stay tuned. But indies, it's a great topic, Yeah,
love it.
Number 4.
All right, we got another question here. This one comes from Liam, a new Discordian. He asks, what are your, oh my God, this is a Nintendo game moments? I still can't express in words my reaction when this happened the first time I played Strikers on the GameCube. And he posted a little GIF of, I don't know if you played this game, but while Luigi, he's kind of doing this motion. How do you do it? Where he's kind of chopping towards his crotch, like, suck it, suck it, suck it.
Amazing. It's amazing.
And then the backup crew, they're all doing the same thing because it's, So what are, this is a Nintendo game moments. Do you got any come to mind? I have a couple.
There's a lot. One that jumps out at me. Remember a fun little game all the way back on the NES days called Maniac Mansion?
Ooh.
When you could put the kid's hamster in the microwave and turn it on and it would explode. And then if I remember correctly, the kid would come and end up killing you and you would lose. Killing his hamster?
I want to play that game so bad, but I want to play the PC version. I don't want to play the Nintendo version when I do.
PC version would make it a lot easier. I have the NES cartridge, I believe. This was what was the follow-up? Day of the Tentacle? Was that the number 2?
I think so.
Yep. Well, overall though as well, I think it's interesting with Nintendo, right? being a Japanese company where Japanese culture is very different when it comes to anime and video games, and storytelling and movies and books and censorship and non-censorship. It's funny. Sometimes you see these characters. I mean, the Xenoblade Chronicles, right? You know, Pyra and Mithra. It's just some of the stuff that you see, and it's like, it's a little revealing for what you would think is a kids or a kid-friendly type game. There's also a lot of references in games. Actually, Mario has, I think in Mario RPG, Super Mario RPG, Legend of Seven Stars, I think there's a reference in there at one point where it says something along the lines of, you can go into Peach's bedroom and get like her special item or something. I forget what it's called, but
it's a dildo, Drew.
Correct. That's yeah, but they don't say that, but they imply it. Yeah, but that's it. You know, I don't want to get too crazy here. The list could go on, but what about you?
Well, it's interesting because in those early days, Nintendo was like, our library reflects the audience. So in the NES, the SNES, they had, they throttled things back. Remember Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But over time, things changed a little bit. They loosened up, and I think it was because they were just losing market share like crazy. And it really wasn't until, we saw some games on all the systems. There's Resident Evil 4 on Wii and all that stuff. But it really wasn't until the Wii U when it really hit me that they were trying to like break free of that mold. And I think the big game that comes to mind, one of them is Zombie U. Obviously Zombie U is a terrifying game, whatever. But the game that really did it for me was Bayonetta 2. And the reason why was not only did Bayonetta 2 appear on the Wii U, but they basically paid for the production of the game. Not totally, whatever the contract is, but that game was exclusive to Nintendo because Bayonetta 2 was never going to happen without Nintendo funding it. Mm-hmm. And when they did that, they actually promoted Bayonetta 2 in Playboy magazine.
Huh.
And that was a moment of, wow, Nintendo wanted people to know, and it was brilliant for them to do it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nintendo wanted people to know, hey, yeah, we still have family-friendly games. That's why we keep coming back. But hey, we have other games too. If you want, this, and when you play Bayonetta 2, and yeah, for a long time, this was my favorite game of all time, and it's still right up there. It is an amazing game. But man, there are some scenes in there, close-up shots of her boobs. There's this scene where you're on this, I think, a helicopter, and the guy is looking over at her chest, and there's like sweat kind of coming down, and you see the little droplets coming down, and then Bayonetta's sweating, and like one of her droplets falls on her cleavage. It's just like, and you're just like, this is on the Wii U. Wow. Okay, cool. So, but yeah, just the fact that they promoted it to a different audience and own that game. And now Bayonetta 3 is going to be exclusive to Nintendo whenever the hell we get it. That's when I realized Nintendo has everything. And now to this day on the Switch, right? We're not shocked. Anybody who says, "Oh, this game on the Switch, I can't believe this is on a Nintendo platform," you're way far gone now. I mean, the Switch has everything. Over. Yeah,
those days are over. Yep.
Exactly.
I agree. Nintendo's reputation, I don't want to say is gone. That's not the right word.
No.
I think it's matured to the way where it understands its audience and it understands what it needs to do to survive as a company and a business.
And realize that Nintendo, the company that's developing the games, still makes always family-friendly games. And the thing that differentiates, because other systems, PlayStation has family-friendly games too. Xbox has family-friendly games. Mm-hmm. But the big difference, whenever I have to explain it to people, is that Nintendo makes their AAA titles family-friendly. You'll get family-friendly games on their platforms. You can get Astrobot, but that's not a AAA title, right? Mm-hmm. The AAA titles for Sony are like The Last of Us 2 and Ghosts of Tsushima. The AAA titles for Nintendo are Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, that's the big difference.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, we're past it now. But Waluigi saying "suck my dick," definitely a moment.
I love it.
Number 3.
It's time. It's monthly mayhem. Result time.
Drew, can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
Drew, that was the hardest month of Mayhem I think we ever had. And I thought it was a really fun idea to surprise people with the game they're going to play right before they play it. We had so many moments, Drew, of people having to play a game they had no idea how to play and had to get us a score in 20 minutes. It was hilarious. It was so much fun. But my God, the stress of having to check my phone to remember when so-and-so were going to play their game and realizing you're 10 minutes late and they're sitting there waiting for you. Oh, my God. It will be years before we do that again.
I think we all need to just take a moment here and thank John for the glorious effort that he put out on this month. Because, John, it was mostly you. I came in every once in a while to save the day, but it was 95% you out there grinding, one might say, in bed and, here.
That's a little later, Drew.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, the challenge was having to play every game. If you got assigned a game, I played it. Maybe I didn't play it for 20 minutes. I remember early on, Drew, you and I played Double Dragon 2 together.
That's right.
But eventually it became we just didn't have enough time to try all the games. So just going to YouTube, doing some playthroughs. We had some repeats. We just had to try to get through. There were some games here that are just like this. Didn't even know these games existed. And having the championship game essentially be a fight in Doomsday Warrior on Super Nintendo. It's just great. Loved it. But I'm so glad it's over.
Absolutely. It was an amazing effort. It was a nice month. I think we all deserve a week or two off. And we'll be announcing our next one in the end of April, beginning of May time frame, around there. So stay tuned. But I want to say thank you for everyone that came out or showed up to play. I believe we had 16 people partake.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And John, so 16 people. I mean, of all, we had 4 rounds each one. So I don't know how many matches, or I want to say, to some were versus, some were solo. But even if it was, let's say, 50 to 60 matches, right, or challenges, we had 0 forfeits, right?
Every game got played.
That's the key takeaway here, folks.
There was only one quitter. One quitter, and you know who you are. One person quit. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, maybe I missed that. I take back everything I just said.
Oh, he knows. If he's listening right now, he knows who he is.
Anyways, how do you want to do this, John? You want me to run through here, and you want to announce the winners, or what do we? Why
don't you run us up from 16 to 1, and
okay.
I got some things to say.
Sure. So in 16th place, solid effort. Don't take that means nothing negative here. With 20 points, Mecha Dragon 101.
Yeah, Mecha Dragon got some tough. He had to play Ice Climbers co-op, which I think was one of the most difficult challenges in this whole thing.
He did.
Balloon Trip. I mean, just some tough stuff, man. And you run into the buzzsaw. One of the games he played, Earth Defense Force, is a game I always hear people rave about. It's on Super Nintendo, and I played it for a bit, and holy crap, that game's really fun. It's like a classic Capcom shmup.
Okay.
It's really good. I really recommend give that one a go.
All right. Tied in 14th with 25 points, Toto Bap with Bruce and Spider Sean. Sean. And then in 13th place, solo with 26 points, Ubicel.
Ubicel had he had at one point he had to play Ghosts and Goblins on NES.
Yes.
And he said he was having trouble moving right. And I mean, I tried it out. It works. I mean, so Ubicel needs to get his controller kind of repaired or something. I think you're getting some drift there, buddy.
Tied in 10th place with 30 points, Phoenix Down, Super Nintendo, and Chris HL94.
Very nice.
Tied in 6th place with 35 points, Shiv UK and Dan from Retrologic. Oh, I'm sorry.
And
there was also another one, Bob Tuzi. And another one, Neil Prime at 33. So 4 of you guys all tied with 35 points in 6th place. That is my apology. Tied in 2nd place, another 4-way tie. Laugher, Jesse, Dat Fast, Hambone, Johnny, and Crazy Greek Dre.
These were some of my favorite matchups.
Yes.
The fact that we had Laffer versus Neoprime 33 was really cool because, like I said, that was randomized. These were not pre-planned. And then Laffer in the first round got matched up against you in ice hockey. We only ended up doing the one challenge of the dad. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. And I think this was taking up so much of our time. It was like, let people play each other.
Yeah.
But Laffer got matched up with you in hockey, which I thought was pretty good. But definitely, interesting. Dat Fast, he and Dan started off like a house of fire, and then had to battle, and he just came up just short on the final battle. But he had a good run going there.
Yes. And
so who won?
The winner with 45 points. His second win of all time, with also 2 lotto wins to back it up. Santy Rod 64. Congratulations. Woo! Well deserved. He went with a great run of 10 points in his co-op, 10 points in a verse mode, 15 points in his solo run, and another 10 points in his last verse mode.
If you want to know what he played through Ice Climbers, basically got where he needed to go in Ice Climbers. Tough game. Had to play NES Open Golf. He beat Spider Shan there. Then he had to do a Star Fox 2, which I thought was going to throw people for a loop because who played Star Fox 2?
Apparently Santy Rod
15 points on there, and then he got into the title match with Dat Fast in a game of Doomsday Warrior. Which is not the best fighter you've ever played. And he took Dat Fast. So great job.
This was fun. This was cool to see them playing these games. It almost was like Ready Player 2, when he had to play some of those old time games and he's never played them before. Right. So this was really fun to see, and the reactions, I think, from the contestants here. This was like you said, Jen. Yeah.
I was gonna say I honestly wish we could do this for every Mayhem because I love the surprise of it, but we would be dead if we did, so we couldn't.
Agreed. And it's what though, if the rumors are always true and they introduce some other system onto the NES, Nintendo Online. Oh yeah. Like a Game Boy or N64, a GameCube, whatever it is, it's gonna open up the library to do this again in the future. So we'll
all over it.
So Santy Rod, $15. But John, we have to give away a random winner another $10 eShop gift card. So why don't you do the honors?
Yeah, everybody, you got all your points, and we threw them into a big lotto machine before the show, and the winner of the monthly Mayhem Lotto and a $10 eShop card is Dan from Retro Logic. Finished in 9th place, but takes the $10 home. It is his first ever win on monthly Mayhem.
Well done.
And the only quitter in the contest. Drew,
wait,
did you see the Super Dodgeball? Oh man, Dan, I ribbed Dan for this a lot.
I thought he just got his butt kicked. He actually quit.
Well, he quit for a good reason. I couldn't wait to watch it because Super Dodgeball is one of my favorite NES games. Yeah. And neither of them had played Super Dodgeball. And if you haven't played Super Dodgeball, it can be tricky. But you know what else? It can be really tricky when your game is so laggy that you really can't do much of anything. And so I was watching him for like a half hour on his stream, and they were doing a practice game. And the game was just super laggy, but they played it to the end, and then they played a real game. And I forgot, who was he playing on that? And so they go to play the real game. Oh yeah, Super Nintendo he was playing. And Super Nintendo changed his team to Russia. And the Russians have huge amounts of health. So after playing this super laggy game for like 25 minutes, now Dan was playing a team that had like triple the health bars.
Oh, jeez.
And so you could just see like the spirit. But yeah, it was really laggy. It was unfortunate. I was trying to explain to them how to throw the ball because you're supposed to run by double tapping and then throw. and every player has their own kind of unique kind of throw that does a lot of damage. But they just kept pressing the button to just kind of do a little short throw that really doesn't take out much damage. So, but I think double tapping was also hard to do when your lag is forever. So I really love to see Dan play another game of dodgeball at some point, because I feel like he's never going to appreciate that game. He has a very bad taste in his mouth.
Fair
but
point.
yeah, but he got the $10.
That's all that matters, Dan. You won the $10. That's it.
Take it and run. All right, that was a great Mayhem.
Great Mayhem. Thank you, everyone, for partaking. Again, end of the month, beginning of May, we'll be releasing the next one. Please stay tuned. It will be fun. We already have an idea or two, so we'll keep listening.
Bring it.
Number 2.
Drew, Pac-Man 99 came out.
It did.
Did you play it?
I played it, and it came and it's gone.
It's already gone.
It's gone.
Did you like it? I mean, like, how many games did you play, would you say?
A dozen?
A dozen? Okay. Did you win? No?
No. I think I got like 7th. I got top 10 a few times. Here's the problem. I know you love the shortness of the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a little too short. What I mean by that is it escalates way too quickly. The game starts out fine, normal Pac-Man. You play it for a minute or so. You got some action going on. You're picking up some different fruit, some stuff getting thrown at your screen. You're throwing some stuff. But then there's like a light switch. And like as soon as it hits like 30 people left, it's like mayhem. It's mayhem. It's crazy what happens. It's like the first few times you have no idea what you're even doing or happening. You know, then you see these the red little Pac-Man guys. You're like, oh yeah, let me, bam, dead. So I don't know. It escalates just way too quick for me. The beginning pace is fine, but I don't know. It's Pac-Man.
I loved it.
It's Pac-Man. What else are you gonna do with it? It's fine. I have nothing wrong with it. I thought it was well done. I thought the paywall was interesting, how they did that, but
I think they got to lower that price if they're gonna sell more. Because you're buying DLC that's really, there's a couple of DLCs like playing with friends and all, but the same problem you have with Tetris 99 is if your friends aren't paying that money, you can't play with them.
Yeah, so it's not like me or you should buy it and host it and then open it up to a lot of people.
Yeah, like, so Kevin remembers this. We had a party at his house. There was like 15 of us. All of us had our own Switches and everything, and we wanted to play Tetris 99. And only 4 of us had the DLC to do a private match.
Oh, jeez.
So it's like, what good is this if you need all your friends to have it? So I and then on top of that, the other stuff is just like graphical patches, and nothing looks as good as Pac-Man.
I agree.
Why would I want to play this game looking like Galaga when I can play with Pac-Man and the ghosts? I mean, it's like a perfect style. Yeah. So
I would pay for the Pac-Man.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could pay $5 to play a private match. So if I could find friends who only had to pay $5, and I hope they split it up at some point. But it's like, I don't want the patches.
How much is for the private match right now?
I think the whole thing is like 20. I think.
Oh my God! And it comes with the skins and that.
You got to buy all it. Yeah, you.
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
Of it. I didn't buy it, but I mean, I think it's a higher.
The problem though, also with this is it's not that fun to play with other people because it's 99 people. So even if you got 10 of your friends that go on at the same time and join your game privately, is there still throwing in 90 other people?
No, I disagree with you, though. It's still really fun because when you die and you look at the list, you'll actually see people you know and you go, oh, I beat you.
Yeah,
and it makes because right now it's like you either win or you lose. But here it's like, oh, I lost, but I beat Jesse. I beat you, Jesse.
Yes and no. I don't know. I just feel like it's sure you could say that, but at the same time, it's not like you're directly impacting them. It could be other 90 people that are screwing you over.
Sure. Oh, absolutely sure. You know? But if you told me that 10 people on the dad's Discord were going to play in a private match together, I'd be like, yeah, let's play, man. This will be fun. I really want to do that. And I'd love to. I mean, I'd love to get the private and set it up. It's just, what is it? Individual DLC, custom theme. They're $2 each. Oh, maybe I'm totally wrong on this. Pac-Man 99 mode unlock. Oh, okay. So that's $15 for the CPU battle, password match, score attack, blind time. $15.
Okay.
So it's not expensive as I thought, but still, it should be like $5.
I agree.
Yeah, but if we were going to do a night where we're going to play Pac-Man 99 with each other, I would plunk down $15. So we'll see. Maybe we can see if we can coordinate it.
I mean that much to you, John? You pay $15? Right?
If you pay 15, I'll pay 15. But yeah,
right.
Whatever.
I'm not paying 15 for that. It's not about the money. I don't care enough.
Yeah. And before we wrap up, I mean, I know we've been playing Pac-Man 99 for a while. I really love it. I come back to it from time to time still. I was listening to the Dad's podcast today. Definitely the Switch Lite is the place to play. And actually, because it was I was playing on my Switch Lite, I've actually been mostly playing my Switch Lite for these last 2 weeks. I've been playing all the Slay the Spire on my Switch Lite, Pac-Man 99. We didn't talk about it earlier. We'll talk about it next week, but The Longing. And so I've been playing a bunch of games and Super Blood Hockey. I'm playing all of them on my Switch Lite. I love my little Switch Lite. But it's my Pac-Man 99, Tetris 99 machine. And the other thing I will add is I love that the games aren't that long, because that was my biggest complaint about Super Mario 35. It went on forever. And the better you were, the more tortured it became. And in the end, like Jesse said, it came down to the time. The time started ticking down way too fast, and you were going to die. They needed to start ticking down the time a little faster early in that game.
You know what? Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'm just not good at Pac-Man. I mean, I'm okay. I hold my own. I played a lot of Pac-Man in my day. But I don't know. Maybe I didn't play enough games either. I only played, like I said, 12 or so
You know
games.
what? That's totally fair. I mean, like I played it a bunch the first night. I wanted to win right away.
Did you?
I did. I think I only have the one win. Maybe I have a second win, but I did not want to stop playing until I got the first win, because just like with the other games, that first night that it's out, it seems to be easier, and then everyone starts to get better and it gets harder. Yep. So I didn't want to stop until I got the win. It took me like 30 minutes until I got a win. Okay. But I do come back to it a little bit. So I really like it. I hope it sticks around for a lot longer. I definitely like it better than Mario. And I think I like it better than Tetris, because Tetris games last a while, and I have never been able to win Tetris. So, I like Pac-Man 99. So, yeah, I think we should get to the bigger news.
And number 1.
Indie World has come. It has been a while since we got a press conference, and we got Indie World. We don't have to go through all the games, but real quick, I'll say some of our highlights. I would have to say I was most excited about Fez.
Okay.
Did you watch the documentary about 10 years ago? It had the guys that made Super Meat Boy. It had Fez, and it had one other game I can't remember.
No,
I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, it was a documentary about 3 indie devs.
Okay.
And that's when I learned about this game. And Fez is a game that you switch between 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions to solve puzzles and advance. And I've been wanting to play this game forever, but I've never bought it on a newer system. I think it might be on Xbox, but it's like for the 360. And now we have it on Switch. And the famous thing about this is the guy who made the game left the video game industry. He was a bit of a hothead. He said some dickish things. And honestly, people said dickish things to him. And he just didn't handle it well. I go back to the Narita Boy developer. You know, I gave some criticism, and he could have just yelled at me or screamed at me and been nasty. But he just kind of laughed it off. And that's the way you're supposed to do it. And this guy left the industry, so people thought Fez was just dead forever. They didn't make a sequel, but it's on Switch, and my wife bought it. I might buy it too, but I might just play in her account, so we'll see. Really excited about that. House of the Dead remake, that looks pretty cool. Chris Tales, which is a game I am dying to play.
Which one was that?
It's a game about you can fast forward time, rewind time.
Oh yeah,
it's turn-based.
Yep. Okay.
It's got a really nice art style. There is a demo.
That one. I'm sorry, that's a different one that I'm thinking. Oh yeah, that one does look very cool. I'm sorry, you're right. I was thinking of a different one. Yep.
There's a demo for it, but I've avoided it. I just want to wait for the game. I'm totally gonna play it. So I was excited to see that one show up again. That's coming soon. I think it got a release date. I can't remember exactly what it is, but then we saw The Longing, which my wife and I were watching this live, and the whole concept of the 400 days, we're like, oh, that's interesting. But we were watching the gameplay, and I'm like, that he's moving really slow.
Yep, yeah.
That's really slow. And I was like, oh, that does not look good at all. That looks really bad.
I just want to know. I know you played this. You don't have to get into it. Is that honestly how slow he moves?
It's how slow he moves, yeah.
It's amazing.
Justin offered me a code like an hour after the Indie Direct. And I looked over at my wife and I was like, okay, I was just morbidly curious about this game. And yeah, it's really slow. I did a first look on it. I'm tortured, Drew. If you ever get bored, watch the 40-minute first look. I'm tortured.
I couldn't do it. Here's the thing. I'm never going to play this game. I don't want to play this game, but It's fucking genius. I gotta say, it's genius from what I thought it was. And then I heard a lot of people talk about it. Read some things on it, and I don't think it's exactly what I thought it was. And I think that's where the developer missed the mark. I interpreted this game as a 400-day countdown from the day it got released. Whether you played it that day or not, if you jumped in a week later, there was 393 days left.
Ooh.
And it required a developer patch 400 days later to make something happen.
Right.
I thought this was the most genius thing to do to make people talk about this and be like, "Oh man, there's only 2 weeks left. Then it's day 4. What's going to happen?"
And all experience it together,
and maybe make it a really big like The Longing 2. Like it's essentially a prequel, and then all you're doing is saying in 400 days I'm releasing the sequel to The Longing. Do you know what I'm saying? And now, and the things that you did in The Longing was going to impact some way or somehow the next part of the game. Whether you leave this cave and it's how you developed your character, that's what I thought it was. From what I understand, that's not the case. And you can time travel, and the 400 days only counts from when you download the game. Is that true?
No. When you start a game, it starts your save file, and then you're at 400 days. And like I haven't played in a couple of days. When I get up there, my countdown will be 2 days less. It's in real time.
But if I went and bought the game today and I downloaded and I have 400 days.
You start at 400. Yeah.
Everyone should be on the same playing field. That's what I was hoping.
That may not be approachable by an indie dev. So I mean, to be fair on that one,
I think it is though.
You're talking about an online ecosystem to support that, and that's a big ask. But you're right. Like the concept, I think, was really cool. The execution ends up just being bad. You move dreadfully slow. This is a game you play with your cell phone in your other hand. Maybe you play while you're walking and you're using your left hand to move while you're typing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of dreadful. And I'll get into it more in a couple weeks, I think, as well. But you get to areas where you look down, you're at the top of a cliff and you look down and they go, oh, I could jump down there. Oh, it looks like there's some moss growing. I'll come back in a couple weeks. And so you're like, what? But the one thing that saves it a little bit is that you have a save slot for the screen you're on, and you can put that in a save slot, and there's 15 of them, I think. And so when you continue the game, you can go, oh, it's been 2 weeks since that moss. I want to go there. You would never be able to find it because the game is just a maze of the same shit all over the place. But if you save that spot, you can bookmark it, and he'll walk there. He won't warp there. He'll walk there. And so you put your system down for like 10 minutes, and he just does a slow walk. You don't have to monitor it. There's no enemies. It's just dreadfully. It's a great, interesting, new, unique concept. But it's just not fun at all.
It's an exploring. That's all you're doing. You're exploring the cave.
I'm gonna play through it. I'm probably gonna play once every like 4 days. I already have 3 colors of chalk. I have a bunch of coal. It's you draw pictures, read books. It's dreadful. But I
love it. I think it's. I mean, again, I'll never play it. I just love the idea of this game. I think it's amazing.
Our greatest episode will be when I reveal what happened on the 400th day.
Are you can you time travel so we can find out sooner?
No, because there's so much stuff you have to do. If you time travel, you won't be able to do anything. There's like books you have to find. It's like Animal Crossing. You're collecting a whole bunch of stuff. It just takes a dreadful amount of time to do it. But there's books you have to find and different colored chalk and different drawings to make. And just there's crafting and stuff like that. But everything just takes a long time. It's
game of the year, but I'm never playing it.
Yeah.
I think it's a genius.
All right. Don't play it, please.
What else? And what else? Anything else here?
And then obviously for me, the big finisher was Oxenfree II. I've played the first game, really loved it. It's a story-based game. It's only a few hours long, but you have interactions with a bunch of friends. There's some weird thing going on this island, and you can really change the outcome of this game. There's many different kinds of endings. You can have relationships with your friends where you can be a dick to somebody and be really friendly to somebody else, and it will affect you later on. And the fact that the story is only a few hours, I think Jesse made mention of another game where if games where you can replay multiple times need to be short, because if the game is 30 hours and then you play it again, you don't want to play it again.
Agreed.
But this game is only a few hours, so you can play the story and then play the story again. And I've never gone in a second time, but I'm going to do a few runs of the first one before the second one.
Let me ask you this, because obviously this isn't my cup of tea. I've never played the first one.
You won't like it.
Is this really one more thing? Is it really that big for Indie Direct, right? We all love Nintendo for and one more thing. Like, I feel like this was a little underwhelming. Am I wrong? Or, I mean,
maybe. I mean, I think only if you played Oxenfree would you really appreciate a sequel. And so I got really excited for it. We were watching it. What is this? And as soon as the little radio frequency started going, I was like, so it worked for me. But I'm looking at the list of games on here and I'm thinking, what would have been their one big thing? House of the Dead remake?
Yeah.
Chris Tales is already announced. It's Fez maybe, but a lot of people have said they don't even want to buy Fez because they don't want to support the developer. I think that's kind of shitty because there were other people that worked on this game that would benefit. So like think about them. And it's a great game. But I don't know. Ollie World. I mean, there wasn't that one game. So we would have liked to have seen Silk Song, obviously.
I just think you don't do it. I just think you just don't do it in a one more thing. I feel like that's taken away. You don't, not in an indie world. You don't.
Everybody expects it though. And in fact, they went far. I was like, is there going to be one more thing? Is there one more thing? And then it was like, oh, there's not one more thing. And then they did it. So they really waited on it. I don't know. I think Oxenfree 2 is probably the biggest announcement in this, if not Fez, but I think there would have been some worry that they were promoting Fez too much or something. So
should have been the long one.
Oh my God. And that was the shadow drop. I bet you a lot of people bought that game and were like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, genius.
They tried.
It's just.
They tried. What else? Right. Anything else you liked about that?
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was a fine direct. I mean, obviously not a lot of cup of tea for me here. Not a lot of games that were, my type of alley, but that's okay. I got my Mario Golf. It's coming. That's all I need to know. It's coming
very soon. I really liked it. I thought it was one of the best indie worlds because there was a bunch of games that I got excited for, and Ollie World is one of them. I didn't even play the original, but the Ollie World looks really fun.
It did look cool.
Yeah, Never Yield. I tried the demo and didn't really like it. It wasn't as good as Runner for me, Bit Trip Runner. But I might give it a try. I usually hate demos. And this demo, I just didn't like the demo. I didn't like the frame rate. I don't know. There's something about it. The environment was hard to read. Mm-hmm. I like my runners very base color. I need to be able to see things quickly, and the environments are too built out, and it was just hard to see. But I might try it when it comes out.
I thought of you when I saw it. I thought of Sayonara a little bit. Kind of had a little bit of the graphical representation there, and I mean, it had music was obviously a big part of it, though different type. But yeah.
Can you imagine when Sayonara 2 gets announced? Oh my God.
I have a story to tell you about that, but I've been dreading to tell you the story.
I don't want to hear your Sayonara hatred.
All right, I won't tell it then.
All right.
All right, John. What So tell us, what do we have coming up in the next few weeks?
Not a lot. There's some good stuff in May, but this tail end of April is still a little quiet. Picross S6, which just got announced, comes out April 22nd. So Jesse and friends will be very happy for the 6th entry in the Picross S series. And then the next big game coming out, new Pokemon Snap, April 30th. Yes. So
I saw. Did you see there was an extended gameplay-ish trailer?
Yeah.
Like I watched it. It was interesting. I thought it looked really good. They kind of added a few more elements because I did not play the first one, as Pokemon is new to my life, so I wasn't really sure how they made this game, let's say, interesting and depth. But I think that trailer helped explain a lot of it for me.
It's very deep. Yeah, like you could. It's like a lot of games, right? You could play through, take some pictures, get to the end, probably roll some credits, and say I beat Pokemon Snap. But like finding all the different expressions Pokemon can make, and seeing them do different things. That's the fun of it. Every time you play, you can see something new. So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
My kids are excited.
Your kids will love new Pokemon Snap. So that's what we got. It's not much, but it's what we have.
Yes. Well, John, happy anniversary to you and your wife. You guys have a lovely evening together as the night is still young for you two lovebirds.
I'm on my way to the candy shop.
Well, good for you. Get yourself a lollipop or two. But that's it for me. Thanks for listening, guys. And John, any last words?
I'll see you all later. Good night, dads. Goodbye.
The Dads After Dark show is a part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in the Dads After Dark show channel for some naughty After Dark talk. Follow us on Twitter at @NDadsAfterDark. Ask us a question, and we may answer it on the show. That's all for tonight. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.